Welcome to the Canadian-Slovenian Chamber of Commerce presents Business Insights 2022. We see that you're joining us today from Slovenia, Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Italy, and of course, Canada. So, dober večer, bom dia, guten abend, buonasera, good afternoon. I'm Sonia Rosenworth, the Chamber's Executive Director, and today we're pleased to present Business Opportunities for Slovenians in British Columbia, a Canadian-Slovenian dialogue. First, let me just share the disclaimer, and then we'll go into the presentation. The similarities between British Columbia and Slovenia make it very appealing for bilateral commerce. Just take a look at this collage of photos from BC and Slovenia's landscapes, and it's easy to see the common threads. The beautiful green and blues of the landscape with picturesque mountains, rich vineyards, thriving and innovative cities, environmental consciousness and healthy lifestyles, which are all shared characteristics. There's also a thriving and vital Slovenian community that was established decades ago, which is represented by the Slovenian Society of Vancouver. This is why many Slovenians have made BC their home and why you might consider BC in your future. The agenda for today's event. Our distinguished speakers today will tell you more about the opportunities and possibilities that British Columbia has to offer, followed by a question and answer period where you will have the opportunity to speak to our panel, and then we'll conclude the event with the survey questionnaire. Our speakers today are His Excellency Andrej Rudolf, Ambassador for the Republic of Slovenia in Canada, Mr. John Doma, Slovenian Honorary Consul General for Canada, EUCCAN Treasurer and CSCC President, Simon Pribac, Trade Commissioner at the Embassy of the Republic of Slovenia in Ottawa, Canada, Dr. Margaret Rudolf, Honorary Slovenian Consul for BC and Treasurer Secretary for the Canadian-Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Darja Zlindra, Chair of the Cultural Committee, Vancouver Slovenian Society, Alex Martiniak, Executive Director, European Union Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, Megan Garretts, Senior Policy Advisor, and Vlad Ujago, Investor Services Consultant from Invest Vancouver, and Honorary Captain Anita Huberman, President and CEO of the Surrey BC Board of Trade. Allow me to introduce our first speaker, His Excellency Andrej Gregor Rode. We're pleased to have the support from the embassy, and we appreciate the collaborative relationship that they have fostered with the Canadian-Slovenian Chamber of Commerce and all of our Slovenian organizations across Canada. Thank you and welcome, Ambassador.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Dober večer to everyone. I am honored to be with you at today's meeting. I'm delighted also that today we will talk about possibilities to enhance economic cooperation between Slovenia and British Columbia. I would like to welcome everyone, and especially our speakers from BC, especially Margaret Rudolf, our very good Slovenian Consul General in BC, Executive Director of the EU Chamber of Commerce Canada West, Alex Martiniak, whom I have the pleasure to meet in June, and all other participants from BC. I can really confirm that Slovenia and BC share many similarities, as was written in the invitation to this meeting. In my last trip, as I said, to British Columbia last June, or I have to say my first trip, I hope that will be more than one, just one, I saw a lot of potential to expand collaboration between Slovenia and BC, especially in the fields of information and communication, IT, artificial intelligence, space technologies, and the manufacturing industry, and also the wood industry that it's so important in BC, but also in Slovenia. I apologize just now because I will not be with you up to the end of today's meeting because I have to go to Rideau Hall to sign the condolence book for Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. John Doma. John could not join us today, but we recorded his session and I will share this with you now.
Thank you and welcome everyone to yet another presentation on Business Insight. Thank you to Sonia Rosenworth, our Executive Director, for organizing yet another great episode. Today I want to mention how proud I am of the work that Dr. Margaret Rudolf and her efforts in leading the way in the Western province of British Columbia. Slovenia shares many similarities with British Columbia, and aside from our good people in both regions, we share many geographic similarities with the mountains, lakes, and forests. And on that note, it fosters industries in mining and forestry, which play an important role in both regions from an economic point of view. And not to mention, both have taken a keen interest in preserving the environment, which contributes to tourism, which is important for the hiking and skiing industry, which we all know both countries have representatives on the world stage in the skiing domain. So to that note, again, Dr. Rudolf, you've done a great job developing and nurturing relationships in the business community, which has helped spur interest in developing relationships between Slovenia and Canada. And I hope that this will continue, as the similarities are just way overwhelming in terms of not being able to, for Canadians or British Columbians, not to know what Slovenia has to offer. And of course, Slovenia has all kinds of things, all kinds of industries to offer to British Columbia, and we are extremely happy that we've got somebody like Dr. Margaret Rudolf going through that way. Thank you. I look forward to today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doma. Now back to our presentation. Pleased to introduce Mr. Simon Pribac. Mr. Pribac has not only a dual citizenship with Canada and Slovenia, but he has also his post-secondary education in Canada and Slovenia and has worked and lived in both countries. Mr. Pribac has an extensive relationship with the Chamber too. He was the executive director before me and is now on our board. We are appreciative of the many contributions that he continues to make to our organization and to the Slovenian community in both countries in his role at the embassy. Mr. Pribac.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Spoštovani obiskovalci, predstavniki slovenskih podjetij in organizacij, dear guests. Sporazumom CETA se je Kanada ponovno odprla Evropi in Sloveniji kot tržišče, ki ponuja ogromne priložnosti. Od medsebojnega trgovanja z izdelki in storitvami, priložnosti za slovenska podjetja, da odpirajo svoje podružnice in zmogljivosti v Kanadi, možnosti vstopanja slovenskih podjetij na kanadske javne razpise ter sodelovanje na kulturnem, znanstvenem in izobraževalnem področju. Na veleposlaništvu Republike Slovenije v Ottawi pozdravljamo inicijativo Kanadsko-slovenske gospodarske zbornice in smo slovenskim podjetjem in organizacijam prav tako na voljo in podporo pri prizadevanjih za širitev v Kanado. Slovenska podjetja imajo številna znanja in izkušnje z veliko dodano vrednostjo, ki bi jih lahko dobro iztržila na Sloveniji, podobnem terenu, kot je provinca Britanska Kolumbija. Thank you, Sonia, for organizing this event, and Margaret for the initiative, as well as everyone else who is participating. I wish you a lot of success, and I hope we'll get a chance to meet everyone in person very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for having some Slovenian added to our event as well. So that will be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Margaret Rudolf, who's joining us from Europe, from Trieste. Dr. Rudolf's support and promotion of business, cultural, and sports interests in Slovenia and Western Canada have been the driving force that is enabling the collaborations that bring us here together. Much more is to be done, and we're pleased to have her join us today. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm in Trieste, which is actually my second home. And as you know, Trieste has a huge Slovenian population. It's the littoral, the Slovenian littoral. But I'm not here to talk to you about Trieste, but British Columbia. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to the ambassador for being such a great champion of our work. And as we are trying hard to integrate British Columbia into our economic strategy, we're getting there. And I'm very grateful for your support, and to Simon Pribac, who's doing an amazing job getting us a little bit more recognized in the Toronto Centre, and certainly General Counsel John Doma, who's doing a wonderful job, and Sonia, thank you very much for keeping us all organized and on track. I have such wonderful colleagues with the Vancouver Slovenian Society. I see Daria is doing an amazing job keeping the cultural fire alive. And I'm so delighted in my role here to do as much as I can to help. So I could have prepared a PowerPoint, but I wanted to leave that to Invest Vancouver and to our economic experts to give you data on business in Vancouver. Rather, I'd like to take my approach as a sociologist and wear my academic hat and talk to you a little bit about what is British Columbia, especially in terms of the Slovenian population here. Now, unlike, of course, ancient Europe, Canada is such a new country, especially the West. The East has been populated by Europeans since the 1600s, but British Columbia is quite new. The Europeans came in the 19th century, essentially to exploit three things. It was the fir trees, forests. Eventually they discovered gold and mines, and that was the wealth of British Columbia. You had the British who came in the 19th century, and then of course you had Asian immigrants who were mostly laborers in the 19th century, and then came the Irish, the German, and certainly a lot of immigrants from India. How they were treated is another debate, but they came. And today we're all, of course, Europeans and people from the Far East. We're second, third generation settlers here in British Columbia. Vancouver is a little bit over 2.5 million people. And Victoria, the capital, has a population of about 90,000 people. The West Coast was essentially explored by the Spanish, for those who might not be aware. That's why we have so many Spanish names in British Columbia. The Spanish Perez and Quadra explored the West Coast, and after that, the British Cook in Vancouver. They actually were friends. It was quite a gentlemanly crew. However, the Spanish conceded their territory to the British in the 1700s, in 1794, so it became British territory. In terms of Slovenians, they started to come in the 1900s, and I apologize, there's a train passing by. Of course, it'll make some sound. I'll just stop for 5 seconds, and it's gone. In the 1900s, there were only about 6 families, and single people mostly, who lived in Trail and Grand Forks. So there are very few Slovenians, but they started to come after the Depression, certainly from the US. But above all was during World War II and after World War II that British Columbia gained a large intake of Slovenian immigrants, especially to the Okanagan for farming. At that time, Canada imported laborers, so they took in farm workers and miners. And by 1953, our records that were developed by the Vancouver Slovenian Society show that there were over 300 Slovenians living in Vancouver, and about 25 families living in the Okanagan. And so families being very social, they started to evolve. And I think Darja will also speak to that in 1958, the Vancouver Slovenian Society was founded. And it was registered in Victoria as a nonprofit organization. So today, according to Statistics Canada, we're a little over 5,000 Slovenians in our part of Canada. And in terms of the Slovenian Society Vancouver, there are about 150 members. And certainly they are aging, and the original founders, of course, have passed. But the heritage is maintained by the Cultural Society, and we're doing a great job to bring in youth and children, and above all, with Darja's work and the Cultural Committee, people like Ida Krajcek, bringing in music and getting young people excited. And His Excellency Andrej came to see us a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it's probably in early June. And he was very kind to recognize the excellent work that the president of the society, Jože Herceg, is doing, and brought a lot of excitement and a lot of impetus to continue our work. Well, I'm really proud to help support whatever I can do to bring culture forward and get more recognition for Slovenia and British Columbia. And I'm delighted to help out in any way I can. So I'll end my presentation now, and later on, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Rudolf. That was very, very interesting and enlightening. And now I'm pleased to introduce Mrs. Darja Zlindra. Mrs. Zlindra is a person who has roots in Slovenia, has her family here in Canada, is an entrepreneur with her own company, and is very involved with the Canadian Slovenian community in BC. Thank you for joining us today to share a few words about the Slovenian community in British Columbia. Welcome, Darja.
Okay, thank you very much. Dober dan and dobrodošli vsi skupaj. Welcome everybody. It is so nice to be here with you all. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Darja Zlindra, and I was born in Slovenia in a small little village near Ribnica, 45 kilometers from the capital of Ljubljana. I completed their university studies of textile technology in Slovenia, and in 1992 I brought all this knowledge to Canada, had to learn English, married Canadian Slovenian descent, and now we have a family of 2 boys. And I feel grateful of being here, as I have a taste of both countries, Slovenia and Canada, which I both love. So, and as well, I own my own business. I'm a garment prototype developer by profession, and I have created many prototypes, like patterns for many famous brands, and for locally and overseas. Most recently, but I am developing a new brand, an online store, as a new innovative possibility, a new futuristic vision how people can shop and see themselves on 3D before they purchase it. So my purpose is to create sustainable work. So it is not easy to do, but it takes a courage. So, but here, many of you are here. I see possibilities and opportunities. So then when I came to BC, I was welcomed by all the Slovenian society in Vancouver. I was so happy to be a part of community and share cultural events and memories with people that had moved here before from Slovenia before I did. So we felt like kind of togetherness. So, but most of all, I love people, community, organizing events, socializing, musical performances. And this is my passion and strength. My motto is something I really believe in. It's community spirit, bring happiness in people's life. And now I am a head of the culture committee at the Slovenian Society, and as well, I am a vice president at the Eurofest BC Society in Vancouver. So, and I would like to share some slides with all of you. As Margaret Rudolf mentioned, that Slovenian Society of Vancouver, Slovensko društvo, was established on October 24, 1958. So this is 64 years ago. We are going to celebrate this year. Many Slovenians who came here after the war came with nothing and wanted to create a piece of home and be connected with each other. And 1972, which is 50 years ago, you can see a building up there, the members purchased a hall, which in Burnaby, BC. The members worked really hard to renovate and to the hall and the school, and used for many, many events and performances throughout the years. We have very like 4 or 5 special events, which are Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversary, wine festival, and Christmas. So it's a really powerful, and what we do, we perform folklore dancing, and we have Slovenian school, sports event, all the hiking clubs, so which sounds like fun, isn't it? So also this member have shared the culture to the youngsters. You can see this little children with the whales. So we have organized all the performances with them to share our heritage. Many of them, they could not speak English, but by showing them the culture and the costumes, it's actually give them the glimpse how it's like, what it looks like a Slovenia. And it's really enjoyed because it's important to be together with the children and socialize. Also, we have participated outside the hall with our dancing performances, which was Greek festival, Christmas market, and other events. And through the determination and support of hard work of Dr. Margaret Rudolf, we have honored to collaborate and bring an authentic Slovenian current. You can see into Museum of Anthropology. You can see here official installation, and the performance was well organized. We have also a visitor from Slovenia, Ensemble Smech, who was playing at our hall for our anniversary, and also 2 members, our special members, have performed in the dance. And this current is now displayed at the Museum of Anthropology, and you can come and visit and you will see this costume there. Slovenian Society also participated in European Festival that always took twice a year, end of May, for many, many years. It's a 2-day event with over 25 to 30 European countries sharing their performances, cultural displays, and offering food and beverages in order to preserve European culture. Can you imagine how nice it is, like the flag parade, bring all the great memories of being all of us together in the same place. So with so many times we felt that we are in Europe without paying an expensive ticket. So it was a really amazing experience. So as you see, COVID has changed a lot for us, and we managed to bring it back again. And it was done at Country Fest this summer. And we really feel happy that this happened. We always looking for kind support of everybody to make these events happening, as it takes something to organize that kind of events. This slide is my favorite. You can see that this is the suspension bridge, and we can see ourselves walking through our beautiful BC. And we say, Slovensko društvo welcomes you to BC. So what it's our special is a socializing. We invite everybody to come and visit. We have host many bands such as Ausenik, Mladika, Naveza, Smeh, Rok Žlindra. And you can see on the left, there is like a White Cliff Park, and we are sitting there and having a great time together. That brings a really fond memory and exchange between Slovenia and Canada. We have visited many places, and the best of all is talking about a glimpse of what is lifestyle in here and lifestyle in Slovenia, and that we can bring a great long-lasting relationship. So we invited you, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to share a bit our Slovenian society and my personal journey from Slovenia to my home here, which is BC. To learn more about, join us for upcoming event. There will be October 22nd will be anniversary, and also November 19th, it's Wine Festival. It's our special celebration. And if you want to know more about it, check our website. It's www.onesloc.ca. So I can put it, I will put it on chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daria. And now I would like to share the screen and introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Alex Martignac. Mr. Martignac has 24 years of experience in trade promotion and public relations as the Director of Trade Promotion and Business Development of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, where he has been assisting in developing new business for SMEs, corporations, all levels of government, public entities, business organizations, and private companies from Canada, Italy, and Europe. He's been developing and implementing international, multi-sectoral trade promotion projects, including 3 tenders promoting CETA among business communities in Canada and Europe, awarded by the European Commission to the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West and executed during the CETA negotiations between 2008 to 2014. Since June 2020, Mr. Martignac has been an active member of Enterprise Europe Network Canada, a business cooperation center that he has helped to establish and of which the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West is a founding partner and the officially appointed Canadian member of the Enterprise European Network. Mr. Alex Martignac, of course, is the Executive Director of EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, and we welcome you.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Thank you for the introduction. Dobry dan, dobry wieczór, lepo pozdrowieni. That's about as much as I can say in Slovenian. I can probably understand more, but you know, I will switch to English. Obviously, I'd like to speak about business opportunities for the Slovenian companies in Western Canada, with a particular focus on British Columbia. We are. I'd like to start with the Chamber of Commerce. Our Chamber of Commerce, the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, has been established in 2013. So it's next year we will have a 10th anniversary. It's with the mandate of fostering trade and investments between Western Canada and Europe. We are a non-profit membership association, bilateral trade organization headquartered in Vancouver. We obviously, apart from facilitating trade investments in Canada and in European Union, we also work on increasing public awareness of CETA, and we support and promote the EU-Canada trade. We also complement activities of our sister organization, European Union Chamber of Commerce, EUCCAN in Toronto, and we liaison with the EU delegation in Canada, with the Enterprise Europe Network, Canadian Trade Commission Services, government agencies, strategic partners from both public and private sectors in Canada and the EU member states. Our main services and activities, how can we help companies from Slovenia, is starting from soft landing services, where we offer a free consultation for companies interested in exploring business opportunities in British Columbia or in Western Canada. With that, we can assist also in establishing presence here in Western Canada, in British Columbia, in a sense of setting up a company, incorporating a company here, and helping you on the way to establish strategic partnerships in order to expand your business here. We offer feasibility studies, business referrals, customized market and market research, as well as we researching for partners. That's why we do offer business matching services, and we organize B2B meetings for companies interested to come here, or even with the pandemic, we started to offer those services virtually, without you having to, the companies having to come here, spend a lot of money initially before they decide to expand their business. We also organize often business conferences and seminars, as well as offer organization of promotional events for various European Union states and for various business consortia or corporations. And we work with governments from the EU member states to promote investments into the EU member states countries. And we organize, in fact, quite often we organize trade missions, going from Canada to Europe, as well as bringing companies from Europe and organize business meetings for them here in Western Canada. We have, in fact, organized in collaboration with the Slovenian Embassy in Canada in 2019 buyers mission in the wine sector in Slovenia, bringing about 7 wine importers from Western Canada to visit Slovenia for a couple of days, tour the wineries, learn about the wine industry in Slovenia, and discover how great the wines in Slovenia are. So now we are trying to help to actually bring those wines and increase. There's some wines already being brought, but increase the presence of Slovenian wines in Western Canada. Just to say a few words about the our focus being Western Canada. I'd like to talk obviously mostly about British Columbia, but we also cover the neighboring province of Alberta. So the British Columbia has a 5.2 million population, and Vancouver being the major business capital with over 2.5 million population, and Victoria is a capital city located on the Vancouver Island. The strategic location here is very important for doing business and expanding your business into North America and Asia Pacific. Vancouver is well known as a gateway to Asia Pacific with very important linkages to Asian countries such as China and Japan and Southeast Asia. And it's also called Cascadia. It's also part of the Cascadia Innovation Corridor, being located just north of Seattle, where there and Palo Alto, Northern California, Silicon Valley. But the Cascadia Innovation Corridor includes the province of British Columbia, the state of Washington in the United States, and the state of Oregon, where there's a lot of innovative high-tech companies located, and they're interacting together. There's many startups located in this area. And in fact, in Vancouver, we have a digital supercluster, which is one of the 5 superclusters funded by the Canadian federal government. And the digital supercluster in Vancouver, as we have lots of ICT talent in the province, and there's a lot of all the major companies from the IT sector, such as Google and Microsoft, Amazon are located here. Hootsuite, digital media is a huge sector here. We are leader in the digital and the animation sector and the gaming sector. So often Vancouver is being called Silicon Valley North with its linkages to the Silicon Valley and Washington State, as well as Hollywood North, because being in the same time zone as California, as Hollywood, most of and I have to say, you would be surprised, but 98% of all the movies that were awarded Oscars had some part of the film directing or post post production work done in Vancouver. So Vancouver is really a Hollywood North. We have a lot of film studios here and a lot of companies in animation and special effects. And Netflix has invested a lot of great funds in order to do productions here. Apart from digital supercluster, clean tech is a very important sector here in British Columbia. Clean tech is the clean tech cluster is the #1 cluster, clean tech cluster in Canada, the one located in British Columbia. And then we have also life sciences, ICT, as I mentioned, which is connected with digital supercluster. However, we should not forget about natural resources such as agriculture, forest and mining and minerals are all located in British Columbia and are a very important part of BC's economy and BC exports. When it comes to Alberta, it's a little bit smaller than British Columbia, with 4.5 million population, with the main cities Calgary and Edmonton. Alberta is well known for its natural resources, especially natural oil and natural gas, and also agriculture is famous for for the agriculture and for farming, also of the cattle. The famous Canadian beef comes from Alberta. Alberta Angus beef is world famous, and in Alberta, as a matter of fact, together with province of Saskatchewan, there is a protein supercluster, which is focusing not only on animal proteins but more and more on plant proteins. Canada is one of the largest producers of pulses and other plant proteins. There is also an innovation sector located in Edmonton with MedTech sector and ICT sector in Calgary. Just to sort of wrap up about those innovation sectors in Canada, I'd like to mention there's also, so I talk about the digital supercluster in Vancouver, in British Columbia, and protein supercluster, those two clusters located in Western Canada. And then we have three others, which I won't be talking about, but they're also important. There's the next generation manufacturing supercluster in Toronto, and artificial intelligence supercluster in Montreal, and the ocean supercluster in the Atlantic Canada, which, however, is also has a very important collaboration with British Columbia, SBC, obviously being on the Pacific coast. Has a lot of research done by universities here in UBC and Victoria UVic in the ocean technologies. Courtesy of Vancouver Economic Development, I'd like to just say a few stats about Vancouver, Vancouver's position, Vancouver's economy, and position in Canada, in the world. It's Vancouver has been for years praised as one of the most livable cities in the world, obviously known for its beauty, but also for livability here. So it's been just recently awarded position number 5. It's also more and more often being chosen as a headquarter for many international companies. So there's more than 250 headquarters located in Vancouver, and it's Vancouver is a location. British Columbia is a location number 1 in Canada for people that are moving for new jobs. It's also a home to number 1 port in Canada, the largest port in Canada, as well as a very busy airport with many over 60 direct international flights, many to Europe, such as direct flights to Paris and Frankfurt, Paris, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and London. And it's the port has been it's been also voted as number 2 best airport in North America. Vancouver is very well known for its green leadership. As I mentioned, there's we have a number 1 clean tech supercluster here in Canada, but it's also and that might be of interest to the Slovenian companies, given the importance of the wood industry sector in Slovenia. Vancouver has one of the best building codes in the world, and it's very well known for green building sector. So there are quite a lot of opportunities in construction, green building, and green building technologies here in Vancouver. Interesting facts about food sector, that there's a lot of startups here that are trying to work on finding higher values for the food waste. So if there's any companies in Slovenia, within that sector, they would have great opportunities, and we will be happy to connect them with local partners and organizations that can help and help with funding of such research. Also textiles, there's Vancouver has become well known for as a fashion industry as well, with sportswear, especially companies such as Arc'teryx, Lululemon are located here, and have become global brands. But again, there's opportunities for research and innovation with regards to recovering the textile waste. And as I mentioned, commercial building deconstruction business is very, very popular here, and there's opportunities for use some of the technologies, environmental and sustainable technologies that can help BC become the greenest. Vancouver wants to become the greenest city by 2030, and British Columbia be a net zero province. Obviously, I've mentioned about the film and TV industry. It's the third largest in North America, and with many special effects and animation companies being located here, and video gaming. Also virtual and augmented reality, and quantum computing. It's a very important sector here, as we have the largest quantum computer located in Vancouver. And right now, I'd like to just maybe say more about the British Columbia as a whole, not just Vancouver. So for the companies in Slovenia that are interested in those sectors that I mentioned, clean tech, renewable energies, green building, there are many opportunities. There are opportunities to also provide, to bring in innovation into the mining and forestry and agriculture sector. Agri-tech is a very vibrant sector right now, and it's there are great opportunities and funding available for companies that can provide, that work on innovation within the agriculture sector. Obviously, ICT, digital media, life sciences are very important sectors here as well. But I'd like to also mention about the opportunities for food and wine sector, for companies from Slovenia that are producing food and great wines that I had an opportunity to taste myself. Also the food such as cheeses and some of your honey. There would be an opportunities here. There's trade shows that are specialized in natural and organic foods. The largest wine show in Canada is located here and organized every year in Vancouver. It's called Vancouver International Wine Festival. And our chamber works with the organizers and facilitates participation and promotion of companies from Europe. So those opportunities, both in the food sector and in the wine sectors, exist here. And I should mention that it's important to know that legislation for the wine sector is provincial in Canada, meaning that if you bring the wine, if you want to sell the wine in Canada, you need to work with licensed agents located in various provinces. For example, if you are able to sell the wine in Toronto, it does not mean that you can sell it in Vancouver. You need to find another agent. Often we have the system of provincial monopolies where they control the distribution, importation and distribution. Here in Vancouver of alcohol beverages, here in Vancouver we have a mixed market, which is very interesting because we have both private sector channel and the government sector, but we also, and in Alberta there's the distribution of alcohol is privatized, and it's the only province where the industry is privatized, so there's no government regulation and involvement in the distribution of the alcohol. Well, I should mention that, like I said at the beginning, we offer free consultation for companies in Slovenia wanting to explore the market here. We also work with organizations such as chambers of commerce or industry associations. We can organize trade missions, both incoming and outgoing, but more importantly, we are able to assist small and medium-sized enterprises that are interested in exploring the market, and we can do market research for them and help them connect with the potential partners. One last thing that I'd like to mention is our Chamber of Commerce in 2020, 2 years ago, has become a member of the Enterprise Europe Network Canada, and then we have partnered with the European Canadian Centre for Innovation and Research in Alberta to form a business cooperation center, together also with EUCCAN, the European Chamber of Commerce in Toronto, that has become official member of the Enterprise Europe Network. So we are able to also leverage all the connections that we have, and we can through that network, which is probably the most powerful international network for the promotion of innovation and for the SMEs, and therefore we are happy to work and organize various activities within that Enterprise Europe Network channel as well. Thank you very much. That would be all for today. If you have obviously any questions, I will be available to answer them. Thank you. Hvala.
Hvala back to you. Thank you, Mr. Martinyak. And I'm sure that there will be many questions, if not on today's video, to follow up from many of our participants today. Now I'd like to go to our next speakers. Now I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Megan Garretts and Mr. Vlad Uzhagov from Invest Vancouver. In this role, Ms. Garretts conducts economic research on key industry clusters and issues relevant to the Metro Vancouver economy. She is responsible for articulating and addressing industry and regional challenges and opportunities through policy analysis. Mr. Vlad Uzhagov is the Investor Services Consultant at Invest Vancouver, focusing primarily on attracting strategic investment to the Metro Vancouver region. Mr. Uzhagov has previously held roles at the U.S. Department of Commerce, U.S. Consulate General Calgary, Government of Alberta, and Government of Saskatchewan, working in international trade, investment, diplomacy, and policy. Thank you for joining us today, and we're eager to learn more about Invest Vancouver.
Thank you so much, Sonia, and thank you all the speakers who've come previously. I'm just gonna get my slideshow up here. Okay, that looks like it's working. So as Sonia mentioned, we are from Invest Vancouver. We're very pleased to be sharing with you a bit more about Invest Vancouver, the organization, as well as the region. And I'm sure Vlad will have a lot to speak about in terms of what Vancouver, the region, has to offer. So welcome to Metro Vancouver. I'd like to start off, first of all, just through an acknowledgement that the Metro Vancouver region is located on the shared territories of many Indigenous peoples, including 10 local First Nations, and we're very grateful to be able to live and work on this land. And the Metro Vancouver region is, you may be familiar with the city of Vancouver, but we often like to remind people that the Metro Vancouver region is actually 21 municipalities, it's 1 Treaty First Nation, and it's 1 electoral area. And we have a GDP of almost $150 billion. We have 1.5 million workers and a population of 2.7 million people. So although the province of British Columbia is very large, the Metro Vancouver is it is over half of the provincial GDP, even though it's quite a small landmass compared to the rest of the province. And I won't go into each of the municipalities in detail, but we have sort of broken them up into different areas here. So that the North Shore, if you've been hiking on the mountains or through the suspension bridge, it's a beautiful part of the area. We also have the central area, and I was pleased to see the city of Burnaby mentioned that's where our headquarters are located here at Invest Vancouver. We have the south end of Vancouver, and we're very excited to hear from the Surrey Board of Trade later, as well as the eastern part of the region as well, which has also a very, very beautiful climate, as is all of the region. And if you have particular interest in any area, I'd encourage you to take a look at our website, where we do have profiles of all of our municipalities there. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about who we are at Invest Vancouver. So we are the region's economic development leadership service, created to advance broadly shared prosperity for residents in the region. So our mission is to position the region for success in a rapidly evolving global economy, and our vision is a dynamic and resilient region that delivers prosperity for all. So we are organized around 3 core areas. As Sonia mentioned, I am part of the data research and policy team, and we'll maybe touch on a little bit about what we do later. But we also have a collaboration function, as well as the investment attraction side, which is where Vlad is coming from and we'll speak to you more about. So we combine these areas to provide meaningful and informed recommendations and assist, connect, and facilitate investment. So our particular roles that we undertake, we have thought leadership, which is where we support the region as a whole on issues that matter the most, and that's kind of where my research and policy work comes in. We're a regional convener, providing that relational infrastructure for the region through our to discuss and coordinate on matters of regional economy, as well as to act as one voice on strategic priorities, because we know that we're more powerful when we have one voice, and we recognize that our best approach for pursuing investment is to work together and market the entire region as a whole. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Vlad to take you through the rest of the presentation.
Great. Thanks, Megan, and thanks, Sonia, and thanks everybody else that spoke before. Specifically, I want to say, Alex, I think you covered a great number of points that I have, so this makes my job very easy. So I'm just going to provide a quick overview of some of the things that we point out to investors and partners abroad, the characteristics of Metro Vancouver that make it such a good place to invest and to do business. And next slide. Yeah, so the first one is outstanding quality of life. And we're going to cover a couple details about what makes this region such a high quality of life region. And really, it's a big determinant for companies when they're trying to locate in various countries and their various locations. And they're considering a number of locations, Metro Vancouver is usually one of the ones that is leading in the category of quality of life. And that's because of the many reasons that have already been described beforehand, such as the unmatched livability and natural beauty, the proud Indigenous communities, the future-ready workforce here, and dedication to the environment and green innovation. And so here is an interesting graphic from Mercer Quality of Life Index. It's actually, the ranking is called the Cost of Living Index, but Vancouver ranks outside of the top 100 most expensive places on this list. So that's something that not a lot of people might know or might not initially think about. On this listing, Vancouver is 104 or something like that on the top cost of living jurisdictions. But in terms of quality of life, as you see here, it's one of the leaders throughout the world. And actually, Megan and I were looking at this before, and we noticed Ljubljana is quite close to Vancouver as well. So just another similarity here. Quality of life is a big driver of the determinants of locating here. The second one is strategic location. I think Alex covered this quite well. Here is a graphic that shows the transportation times between major hubs throughout the world. Again, the West Coast connection is undeniable here, being just a few hours away from San Francisco, Los Angeles, and being the gateway to Asia, as well as actually we worked with a company that was located in Europe, and they were seeking to get an office somewhere that doesn't overlap with their workday, and Vancouver was a perfect place for that. So even though our workday doesn't overlap, that might be actually a strategic consideration if companies are seeking to hire staff that cover 24 hours of the day. And so here are some key points. The largest port and third busiest in North America, the shared time zone with the US Pacific. Some companies spontaneously drive between, some of the executives, drive between Vancouver and Seattle and just to visit their offices. And anecdotally, it's something that is a key driver of their locating decision as well, because if they can get in their car and drive between the two tech hub cities spontaneously and be back within a day, I think that's a great fostering a collaboration. Overlapping business day with some markets in Asia, I guess I covered that. And the trade agreement part as well, Alex covered that. We have 15 free trade agreements, 1.5 billion consumers, and 60% of the world's GDP. And one key driver that we always mention is the access to talent. Metro Vancouver has been a leader, especially in the tech industry, in terms of just how great the ecosystem has been in fostering tech talent and attracting tech talent as well. And one of the drivers of that in the ecosystem are the educational institutions. So this is a pretty high number. I believe it's actually quite similar to Slovenia as well, which is another similarity here. 63% of people aged 25 to 64 have post-secondary education. Another key statistic here is that 43% of residents speak a language other than English as their first language, and it's part of the diversity here, which we're very proud of. Sorry, was there a question? Okay, so here is a breakdown of ethnic heritage of Metro Vancouver residents. As you can see, it's an incredibly diverse place. Immigration is a key economic driver, and especially even when looking at tech talent, some of the statistics that I think we'll show later show that approximately half of the tech talent that arrives here, or half of the tech talent growth is for, let me see how I can phrase, half of the tech talent growth here in the region can be ascribed to non-BC residents. So people coming into BC from throughout Canada or other countries, and this is a key driver of that sector and many other sectors as well. And the Federal Global Skills Strategy and the BC Provincial Nominee Program are designed specifically to foster this economic immigration category. So if your company especially is in sectors like tech or a few other sectors that are covered under these strategies, there are simplified processes to get work permits as well as pathways to permanent residency. So here's a graphic about the companies that live here, the companies that are homegrown, as well as international companies. I'm sure you have seen some of these before. And notably, some of these companies are actually foreign-based companies that previously had headquarters abroad and relocated them here to Vancouver for a number of reasons, including the ones that I've covered here today. And so this is a really interesting demonstration of kind of what I've been talking about in terms of the intersection of quality of life, talent, and especially in the tech sphere. So as you can see here, the labor quality for Vancouver, the Vancouver region for tech talent is incredibly high, and the cost is actually quite comparatively low compared to the rest of the tech hubs in North America. This is based on data that the CBRE has been releasing recently. And it just shows that we're at a very attractive intersection, especially for the tech space. Very large skilled tech workforce, 91,000. And it's actually the fastest growing tech hub in North America by percentage in the last 5 years, according to the CBRE as well. I'm going to cover here a couple of the sectors that make this diverse economy. And there actually are priority sectors here at Invest Vancouver. So for our research teams, for our collaboration team and the strategic investment team, these are export-oriented sectors where we're trying to identify clusters or cluster potential to see the biggest key economic drivers of growth. And these are probably familiar to you: agri-tech, trade and transportation, green economy, digital media and entertainment, apparel, life sciences, and high tech. And the last one that I'm going to cover is business-friendly climate. So the educational institutions, some of the world-leading institutions here, located in the left graphic, some of the supports that we have, as others have mentioned, for example, the Digital Technology Supercluster, as well as some of the associations and government funding and other programs. And the last image is the anchor companies here. These attract talent, these attract investment. There's a lot of overlaps. There's a lot of long-term effects that attracting such big companies and investors has. So for example, EA, a lot of the tech talent growth here, and especially in the gaming industry, these days can be tracked down to Electronic Arts, initially hiring people here, and how just how much of a long-term impact that's had on the economy, and how people that were hired initially in a junior role grew within the company and then started their own companies, and now it's having really great impacts here. Some of these details about the corporate tax rate, I'm happy to provide that more in an email or offline, but we have a really competitive corporate tax rate, a combined corporate tax rate that's quite competitive across North America. BC also has additional SHRED credits in addition to the federal credits. So if you're doing any sort of research and development, there's quite a significant tax credit that you can apply for. There's a number of specific business programs. So if you're in the creative industries or some other industries, you're eligible for some tax credits specifically just because you'd be locating in BC. So this is like digital media, entertainment, and filming as well. And a number of hiring grants such as MyTax, Digital Skills for Youth, and a few others. Yeah, that's it for my part. And I think I'm going to pass it to Megan. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Vlad. I think we'll just end. I just wanted to put in a plug for some of our research that we do at Invest Vancouver. We're a bit unique in terms that we have our own in-house data research and policy team, and we undertake research into those areas of strength within our regional economy, really looking to uncover what we have here, what makes this region so unique when it comes to these industries, and also what we can do to collectively strengthen them. So our most recent one was on the water technology industry, as well as previously agri-tech, and we're just getting started on our life sciences industry, which is such a thriving industry here. You may be aware that some of the components or the research that went into the development of the mRNA COVID vaccine were developed right here in Vancouver by AbCellera. So we're really excited to get into that sector as well. So I think our last slide here, we have a QR code if you're interested in staying connected with us. We have a newsletter sign up, as well as our website, and all of our social media is there as well. So with that, I think I'll just end it there and see if there are any questions.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Megan. We'll have the questions in the Q&A session at the end. And now I'm pleased to present Honorary Captain Navy, Anita Huberman, President and CEO of the Surrey Board of Trade. Anita Huberman has been the President and CEO of the Surrey Board of Trade for 16 years for one of the top 10 boards of trade chambers of commerce in Canada, and for one of the largest cities in Canada. Ms. Huberman and her team serve more than 6,000 member contacts. In 2021, she was announced as being number 1 of 15 outstanding Canadians for her work in the private sector and through the pandemic. She's the Honorary Captain of the Royal Canadian Navy, appointed by Canada's Minister of National Defence, just reappointed for her 3rd term till 2024. She holds the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal, was a Business in Vancouver Top 40 Under 40 award winner, and awarded the 2019 Surrey Community Builder of the Year, and received a Canada 150 Community Medal. This is just a portion of Mrs. Huberman's many awards and achievements. The Surrey Board of Trade speaks for the business community at public hearings and to the media. It's a recognized voice of business, and we're very honored to have you join us today.
Thank you so much,
Welcome.
Sonia, and welcome to everyone. As mentioned, I'm Anita Huberman. I'm President and CEO of the Surrey Board of Trade, and we are one of the top 10 largest chambers of commerce, boards of trades in our great country of Canada. There's 430 of us. I'm speaking to you today from our traditional and unceded territory of our Coast Salish peoples, our Indigenous peoples, specifically the Semiahmoo, Tsawwassen, Kaikut, Coquitlam, and Tsawwassen First Nations, as well as the Inuit and Métis peoples. We recognize the land and water on which we are on, which we surround, and our First Nation peoples are a valuable part of our economic development. In fact, Surrey is going to be the largest city in British Columbia very soon. We have the largest urban Indigenous population within British Columbia. Half of our population, almost 600,000 people, has a mother tongue other than English. Our diversity is our strength. 30% of our population is of South Asian origin. 30% of our population is under the age of 19. Blending our private and public educational institutions. This is where the human capital is. We're a border city to the United States, part of the Cascadia Economic Corridor, which Invest Vancouver clearly articulated in terms of the economic opportunities. And both of us are really focused on ensuring that we are creating economic opportunities for all. Every single person matters in our city and in our region. And that is including our youth, our women, our Indigenous people, our newcomers. Surrey has the largest number of newcomers and refugees that come into our city within British Columbia. We have an international docking facility. We have the most number of manufacturers within British Columbia. We have the most amount of industrial land. So we're able to build, whereas Vancouver, which is about 45 minutes away from us on a good day in traffic, is building up. And so that's why we're seeing a blend of housing, transportation, healthcare, technology investments. We have a thriving health and technology district, 3 towers built, another 5 to come. We have 3 public universities that are innovating and incubating new businesses and supporting existing businesses to scale up. You name it, we have it within our diverse industry base of our city. And what we learned during the pandemic is the importance of agri-tech and agricultural food production and sustainability within our own region, and especially in our partnership with Washington State across the border, as well as Oregon and California, in conjunction with all of British Columbia, to clearly ensure that we have an ecosystem of support from education to private sector with venture capital, high risk money to really innovate, to scale up those businesses, to ensure that we are supporting those technologies that we need into the future. That it includes water tech, as I mentioned, agri-tech, manufacturing, small manufacturing from aerospace, steel fabrication. We have a variety of manufacturing spaces within our city, food processing, for example. The Surrey Board of Trade's role, we are a not-for-profit entity. We fall under the Federal Ministry of Economic Development, but we're not government. We're an independent voice of business. And I want to tell you a little bit more about how we can support you through our International Trade Center, where we're creating global business connections for local businesses through a diversified service portfolio. And with our regional partners, which include Invest Vancouver, and of course the BC government and the federal government, we want to ensure that we are taking advantage and really promoting our global opportunities and partnerships that we have. So to tell you a little bit more first about the Surrey Board of Trade, I just wanted to share a video with you and then a little bit more information. As one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, Surrey is an opportunity city. The Surrey Board of Trade is the concierge of connections.
Rick Mann from Iowa and Property Group. I'm a Director of Development and Construction. We rely on the Surrey Board of Trade for a lot of advocacy and research that we don't actively go out and find. Really, like there are things on there that I had no idea about, and I get the email, I get the web link, and it really affects us in a big way.
The Surrey Board of Trade is focused on making Surrey an opportunity city by instigating change at the different levels of government, offering a variety of business support services, international trade support services, and being the concierge of connections for the business community in Surrey.
My name is Rowena Rosati. I'm the Vice President of Healthcare and Innovation here at the Health and Technology District by the Lark Group. We focus on a lot of health and technologies and how we can bring different technologies and innovative healthcare solutions into the hands of clinicians. So there's a tremendous amount of information and support that the Surrey Board of Trade offers to these companies, and it's an opportunity for me to be able to translate what the Surrey Board of Trade is doing for some of those companies and helping those companies to succeed.
If it's in the agricultural sector or in the retail sector, if they're needing a government connection, if they have an issue related to government, we are there for them. And we have a proven track record of success to ensure that businesses are helped.
You know, the Surrey Board of Trade it's a great organization because anybody who is involved in that organization wants to be a more proactive member of the community. So having an opportunity to connect and network with those individuals helps our business become better.
So the Surrey Board of Trade offers an immense amount of support for businesses at all levels, including entrepreneurs and startup businesses. There are resources that help a business that they wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to contract on their own, and it allows those to be accessible, sometimes free of cost. It also creates opportunities for networking.
Whether you're a new business that's just opening up shop in Surrey, Surrey Board of Trade has to be one of your top destinations. It will connect you with a lot of the great minds in the organization, a lot of great minds in the communities that can help.
So whether you're a small business or a medium-sized business or a large business, starting out or expanding, we have the connection. We have the resources to ensure that you have what you need during your journey as an entrepreneur. So everyone, I just wanted to let you know the Surrey Board of Trade and through our International Trade Center at our office, my incoming international and workforce coordinator, Merdula Babu, is also on the call today. We are here to serve your needs. If you're needing a specific connection in a specific industry, we are here for you. I encourage you to check out our website at businessinsurrey.com to look at our trade center, our business support services, our economic resources. We are here within our city to make Surrey an opportunity city, but to also look at co-location opportunities for your business abroad, right here within Surrey. We do take trade missions abroad as well. And we've done 4 of them in the past, another 3 to come next year. And as well in 2024, we'll continue on that thread of ensuring that we are bridging our ties to the world. Now, to tell you a little bit more about Surrey, I wanted to also tell you about our technology-based firms. We have an outsized impact on economic growth. And we focus on technology in our health and technology district because they provide better paying, longer lasting jobs and that innovation. We have the largest school district within British Columbia. So we're cultivating our young kids under the age of 18 to ensure that they realize that opportunity within their educational curriculum. We actually go into the school system. We're the only Chamber of Commerce and Board of Trade that goes in as early as grade 4 to teach our students how to invent, how to operate a business, how to create a business plan, a budget, and to sell their products. And then they also have to give back to the community as well. And it has served us well these past 12 years. We're a breeding ground, secondly, for academic research that has gained momentum and eventually made into commercial realities. We have a proven track record and presence of various innovative companies in Surrey that continually strengthen the economy. It is Surrey's innovative companies that will meet the challenges of our new economy, especially with the socioeconomic challenges that we need to address. Thirdly, as I mentioned, I encourage you abroad to consider coming to Surrey to see what we are all about. No one understands our geography, the width and the breadth and diversity of our industry base in comparison to Vancouver. It is here where industry happens. It is here where business is innovated. And yes, we are a region. We work with Invest Vancouver. We need to leverage our strengths and our opportunities in each of our 21 cities that we have in Metro Vancouver. But sometimes Vancouver is the brand and Surrey gets ignored, but Surrey is going to be the largest city in British Columbia. And we have another 1.3 million people that are going to be moving into the Metro Vancouver region by 2040. And many of them will live, learn, work, and play in Surrey and in our South Fraser economic region. We also want to make sure that we are providing resources for you. We have a relocation guide. So any resources that you need, we're here for you. If you want us to conduct city tours, we'll do that for you as well. We're building a new downtown core from the ground up. Another new 16 towers are coming. We're building a significant industrial parks all throughout our city. We're innovating our clean energy cluster. Certainly our finance, insurance, real estate, advanced manufacturing, health, education, all of those diversity pieces within our industry base will show you the strength and longevity and sustainability of our city. And I wanted to also make sure that you understand we have an international docking facility in Surrey where we are receiving and shipping goods all over the world with a modern multi-purpose marine terminal called DP World, formerly known as Fraser Surrey Docks. We have a well-developed highway and road network, access to 2 international airports, rail access, a growing population. Our population is growing by 1,200 to 1,400 people a month. I want to make sure that you also understand that we are innovating in our healthcare sector with a new hospital investment that is coming in the next 10 years. We're building a new port as well. And certainly the modernized South Fraser Perimeter Road, our enhanced agriculture sector, our construction and development sector, all of these pieces modernize Surrey and really emulate how exciting it is to be in Surrey. And I just want to end off by saying that Surrey is an opportunity city. My staff and I and our 6,000 member contacts that we have at the Surrey Board of Trade are here with you around the world to connect our city as well as to the Metro Vancouver region. I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Huberman. I can certainly feel your passion for Surrey, and I think our viewers as well will be considering Surrey as an option. What I'll do now is go to our gallery view, and we are at the question and answer portion of our event. If anyone has a question, I invite you to perhaps put your hand up first. On the bottom right, you'll see reactions button with a little happy face. So if you could just go in there and just put your hand up, that would be great. If you have a question. And then alternatively, oh, okay, Simon. Mr. Pribac, go ahead.
Thank you, Sonia, and thank you, presenters. This was really nice and really informative. So, and I can also see a lot of parallels between Slovenia and BC in terms of business, especially digital, clean tech, life sciences. But also, I remember, Alex, you mentioned there is funding provided for companies that work with agricultural innovation. Is this limited to businesses, or is there also an open window to cooperate with the scientific institutions that do research?
Yes, thank you. So I think it would be correct to say both, because there is a program, Horizon Europe, within which Canada is recognized as a partner, and the government of Canada is matching the funds for research collaboration between research centers in Europe. So that can be obviously investigated depending on the topic of the research, but there's definitely there would be some opportunities for the agriculture research with between the Canadian and the Slovenian universities or research centers. So that's one. Also for the you know, when I talked about the companies, I meant startups or scale-ups, the companies that set up operations here and become Canadian company as a register. They register, incorporate here in British Columbia. They can become members of the digital supercluster. But also whether this is not necessarily here, I'm pretty sure that you know, if they would locate in Surrey and become members of the Surrey Board of Trade, they would also be able to access some funding, some programs that are available through in Surrey as well. So through different sort of local organizations here for the companies.
Daria,
Sorry.
you have a
sorry,
question?
just want to jump in very quickly just to add something to what Alex said. I spoke with the AAFC rep here in British Columbia, that's Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, and they provided me a really good document called the BC Funding Opportunities List, and it covers by category funding for producers, processors, associations, as well as innovators. So I think that innovator space would cover the research aspect that you're talking about. So I'm happy to connect with you offline and send you that as well.
Oh, that would be great. Would it be possible for us to get a hand on that list?
Yep.
And if you could copy me, I'd really appreciate it as well. Thank you, Vlad. Daria, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. It was really amazing. Listen, everybody. And I just want to ask more information. Like, I am myself a little innovator and have those vision and technology. Do you have any like possibilities for new businesses, for grants, for if they have a specific idea to make a difference or sustainable? Is there any possibilities to apply for grants for companies? A possibility? What are, I don't know who would answer that question.
I can respond to that.
Thank you, Anita.
I'm sure my colleagues at Invest Vancouver, there are grants available through both the provincial and federal government, and more specifically through the federal Ministry of Small Business. Definitely we can connect you with possibilities, and we can go from there.
Okay.
What I'll do with all the participants, I will email the contact for each of our speakers today, so that you can connect personally if you wish after the event, because it's impossible to think of all the questions that you may have, and that will be after. Is there any other questions right now that we have? So let me just share the screen again. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentations. Thank you for your passion. And I think that's something that is what is shared in these events, is hearing firsthand from yourselves, not only representing Invest Vancouver and Surrey Board of Trade and the Slovenian Society, but representing your region. And I think you really conveyed reasons why people should consider BC, Vancouver, Surrey. There's just so many similarities, and I think it's in the character of the people that that we share too. So thank you very much to everyone. So on behalf of the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, thank you. We're honored to have you as guest speakers. It was inspiring to have so many participants that were interested in learning about BC and Canadian opportunities and possibilities. We'll share the link to this recording and also share contact information, like I said, and participants can learn more by contacting the organizations directly if they wish. I have no doubt that we will collaborate on future events together. And a special thank you to our supporters, Mr. John Doma, the Office of Slovenians Abroad, and Spirit Slovenia. We invite you to join us at the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce as a member. Please find out more by going to our website, or you can contact me at sonia@canslo.com. And thank you. Thank you, everybody.
What a delight, and let's stay in touch. Thank you, Sonia, for organizing this, and hope to see you shortly again.
Yes, safe travels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Sonia, on a very good event again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hvala and thank you from the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce and the Svidanja until we meet again.